So good evening everyone. So today we are discussing the operating system interview question. It is today's 8 November. So we randomly picking the question asked during interview. So there is no systematic manner, simply a random question, a random bunch of question. So we are trying to answer in the best way. Okay. So let's start with the basic question. The basic question is what is page fault? So what is page fault? Okay, what is page fault and how it handled by the operating system? So what is page fault? So we have to think what is page fault. So let's see let's see so page fault occur when a process try to access the page that is not currently loaded in the main memory. So when you try, what is this? Actually this is like this. This is when a process process is trying to give- trying to access the page that is not available, huh? That is not available in not avail in main memory. Okay, main memory, that means RAM, inside the RAM. So when a process is trying to access the page and that is not available in the main memory, then the page fault occur. So handling this step. So how we handle in operating system? This is simple definition of the page fault and how we handle. So handling process, how we handle. So so check the validity. If OS check if the memory reference is valid. So check validity. So check validity. Validity, is it available or not? After that, find the page. If valid, it locate the page on the disk in swap or the secondary storage. So find the page. So page. After that, choose the frame page. After that, choose the frame. OS select a free space. OS choose the free space or use the page replacement algorithm if RAM is full. Okay. So choose frame. Load the page. Required page is loaded into the chosen frame in a RAM, and the required frame is loaded in RAM when needed. Okay, needed frame is needed and load them. So update the page table. Also update the page table and restart the instruction. In short, page fault is a normal in the virtual memory system. It let the process accesses more memory than the physical available. So let's move for the next question. Next question. The next question is that next one. So what is the device driver and what is the role in operating system? Wait for 1 second. Hello. So, sorry for disturbance. Where we are? So we cover the page fault. So we move for the some operating systems and application to communicate with the hardware hardware devices. Okay, and they act as a translator between hardware and the operating system. So device driver it act device driver it wait a second. So it act as a translator 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 between hardware hardware and hardware and OS and the OS. Understand? So it converting the high level OS command into low level hardware instructions. So device do device handle the device specific operation is reading, writing, and controlling. So like example, printer driver, keyboard, graphic card, all are the example of device driver. So the example are so printer keyboard, graphic card driver. So this we all are device driver and soul. So it is a software component that allows the operating system and its application to communicate with the hardware devices, and its role is to act as a translator between the hardware and this and putting command into low level hardware instruction, handle the device specific operation like reading, writing, and controlling, and enable the plug and play, allow the hardware to work without modifying the operating system. So completing the question on the device driver, we move forward for the next question. What is the critical section? What is the critical section? So let's write the question. What is the critical section and how it's protected in the concurrent programming? So critical critical section and the how it's protected from the concurrent and protected how it is protected in concurrent programming. Okay. So what is critical section? So critical section is a part of program where shared resources is accessed and must not be used by more than one process thread at a time. So critical section, let's discuss critical section. So critical section is a part of program where the shared resources like variable file is accessed and must not used by more than one process. Is a program where shared resources is accessed and must not be used by more than more than one process and the threads. Okay. Critical section and the protection mechanism is mutex, semaphore, monitor, and disabling the interrupt. So what are the protection mechanism? So protection methods are as follow. So protection method are as follow. So mutex. What do you mean by mutex? Only one thread can hold the lock at a time. Mutex means only one one thread hold at a time. Okay. Mutex after semaphore control access using counter. Controlling all the resources using counter is a synchronization tool. So this second is semaphores. So it control control accesses using the counter. Okay. After that, monitor. high level synchronization construct that automatically manage the log. मतलब high level synchronization construct that automatically manage the log and disabling the interrupt used in the kernel level critical sections to prevent the context switches. So mutex 4 are the techniques through which the critical section is protected. And when we have to ask, when the interviewer asks what is critical section, so we have to answer that the program where the shared resources is program, and it's a part of program where the shared resources like variable files is accessed and must not be used more than one time per thread at a time. Okay, let's move for the next question. Mm, Next question, what is the next question? So explain the concept of user level and kernel level. So concept of user level and the kernel level. So so user level, user level versus kernel level. Okay, user level and the kernel level. So operating system run in two modes to protect the hardware. So operating system run in two modes. One is user level and kernel level. So to protect the hardware and system resources. So user mode. Let's discuss about the user mode. What is user mode? So normal application runs here. Now in user modes, normal application runs here. Okay, run here, and limited access to hardware and the memory. So and also the limited access to memory and hardware. Okay, okay, and error crashes affect only the application, not the if error occur it affect only the application, not the hardware. Okay, so only these things are there, but in the kernel mode kernel mode kernel mode what is it? Operating system run operating systems core run here. It's like a device driver, system call, and memory management. So OS cores run here runs here. Okay, and full access to the hardware and system resources. full access Full access to the hardware and system resources system resources. Okay, and crashes here can crash the entire system. If crashes affect affect the entire system. Okay, switching via a system call when a user program request for operating system. Okay, so next we move forward for the next question. Explain the concept of file descriptor and descriptor and the file descriptor table. So there is no need to answer this question. And microlithic kernel. Another standard question is here: monolithic between monolithic monolithic and microlithic kernel. Okay, so what are the difference between monolithic and microlithic kernel? Let's discuss. So first of all, what is monolithic kernel? So all a monolithic kernel, mono mean minimum, or mono mean whole, micro is a little bit part. Okay, so structure is all the operating system services like file system, device driver, memory management system run in the kernel space. In mono, all os services run in kernel mode, and its performance is faster. Mono is faster, less stable, less stable, fewer contact switches, and less stable can crash the whole system. Less stable mean bug in one module can crash the whole system. Harder to extend and maintain. So harder to extend or maintained. Okay, like Linux, like Linux, Unix, Unix. All these are the monolithic kernels. But and another one is microlithic, microlithic kernel, monolithic kernel, and microlithic. Only essential component, only essential services on the defense. So the user level and monolithic and microlithic property consisted in the hybrid level.